Hello friends, this is the Urdu Free Thinker. The marriage of Aisha to Prophet Muhammad is a source of contention and disagreements for many modern-day Muslims. But it wasn't always this way. Throughout Muslim history and tradition, it was widely believed that Aisha was the child bride of the Prophet Muhammad. The most authentic or Sahih Hadith state that her age at the time of marriage was 6 and 9 when the marriage was consummated. Let's have a look at these traditions. This is a hadith from Sahih al-Bukhari which states, Khadija died 3 years before the Prophet departed to Medina. He stayed there for 2 years or so, and then he married Aisha when she was a girl of 6 years of age. He consumed that marriage when she was 9 years old. This is a hadith from Abu Dawood which states, Aisha said, the Messenger of Allah married me when I was 7 years old, or 6. He then had intercourse with me when I was 9 years old. This hadith from Sahih Muslim says, Aisha said, Allah's apostle married me when I was 6 years old, and I was admitted to his house when I was 9 years old. It is clear that according to most authentic traditions, Muhammad married a 6-year-old girl and then consummated the marriage at the age of 9. However, it is important to note that this was not considered abnormal back in the day. Child marriages were actually quite common, as marriages were often a means to forge alliances or strengthen existing bonds. But our 21st century morality has evolved, and now we classify such behavior as pedophilia. This is precisely why modern Muslim scholars are very uncomfortable with this and try to challenge the orthodox beliefs. One of such scholars is the Pakistani scholar Javed Ghamidi. He has made the claim that Aisha's age at marriage was actually 16, and she was 19 at the age of consummation. Let's have a listen to his claims.
जा सकती है तो इसमें हुआ क्या? हुआ ये है कि अरबी ज़ुबान में भी आदाद ऐसे ही बोले जाते हैं जैसे अंग्रेज़ी में है. यानी उर्दू में हम कहते हैं 22 तो वन वर्ड बन जाता है. अंग्रेज़ी में कहते हैं 22 तो दो लफ्ज़ बन जाते हैं. किसी जगह पर सित्तत अशर में से अशर गिर गया है और बस उसके बाद कहानी चल पड़ी 6 साल 6 साल 6 साल.
Here Ghamidi claims that the traditional narrative has a typographical error. So the scribe omitted the number 1 from the Arabic numerals 6 and 9, thus resulting in the shortening of 16 to 6 and 19 to 9. There are two major problems with this argument. If this was an error, why wasn't it picked up by generations of Islamic scholars in the past 1400 years? If this was so deviant from the practice of the time and against Islamic norms, why was no one surprised, embarrassed, or even disgusted by this? Why was it only picked up in the 21st century? Also, why was this typographical error made multiple times in different collections of hadith? Sahih al-Bukhari, Sahih al-Muslim, and then Abu Dawood. The other major problem for this case is that Aisha's age was not recorded numerically, but it was actually recorded in letters. It was spelled out. And consequently, this leads to a grammatical problem for this claim. In Arabic, all numbers have a masculine and feminine form. For example, 1, wahidun, wahidatun, 3, thalathun, thalathatun, 6, sittun, sittatun. According to the Arabic grammar, the cardinal numbers 3 to 9 show a reverse gender agreement with the noun, and the noun that follows the number will be plural. So for instance, in the phrase sittu sinin or 6 years, the number sittu is masculine because the noun sinin or years is feminine and in plural form. This is the phrase used in the hadith. The rules for the numbers 13 to 19 are slightly different. The first part of the number will show reverse gender agreement with the noun just like before, but the second part of the number will agree with the gender of the counted noun. The major difference from the rules for numbers 3 to 9 is this. Now the counted noun will be singular instead of plural. So to say 16 years in Arabic will be sittu ashara sanatan. Here the first part of the number, sittu or 6, will be masculine, but the second part of the number, ashara or 10, will be feminine because the noun that follows, sana or year, is feminine. But note that the counted noun here does not appear in its plural form, sinin, but will be in its singular accusative form, sanatan. I know that these are a lot of rules and can be overwhelming, so let me summarize my point for you. In Arabic, 6 years is sittu sinin and 16 years is sittu ashara sanaten. In the Hadith, it says sittu sinin. If this was an error and the scribe forgot to write the number 10, then did he also grammatically alter the counted noun by mistake? If this was truly an error and the scribe believed that Aisha's age was 16 instead of 6, then why did he write sinin and not sanaten? What kind of error is this that is grammatically correct? So the claim that this is a result of a simple typographical error is a result of ignorance of the Arabic grammar. Many modern Muslims refuse to believe that Islam allows the marriage of prepubescent girls, but the fact is that the Quran does not have any particular age limit for marriage anywhere. According to the Quran, if a man divorces his wife, the wife must wait until her menstrual cycle. This is to determine the paternity of the child and to see if she's pregnant. Interestingly, the Quran also gives special waiting period for divorced girls who have not yet reached the age of menstruation. This is further explained by the tafsir of Ibn Kathir, which says, Allah the Exalted clarified the waiting period of women in menopause. Her waiting period is 3 months. The same is for the young who have not reached the age of menstruation. Anyhow, most Muslim scholars believe that the Hadith is true and authentic. According to Orthodox Islamic scholars, girls reach mental maturity with menstruation. In other words, they consider the beginning of the menstrual cycle to be the hallmark of adulthood. Let's listen to Dr. Zakir Naik.
So based on this again, what I believe that the Hadith is authentic and even the age of 6 and 9 is authentic, and how to justify that. When I was in the medical college, we were taught in the medical college that a lady, she reaches puberty and adulthood, maturity, at the age of approximately, in India, it is about 13 to 14, 15. In America, it's about 12 to 13. And the age factor of the puberty keeps on changing depending upon the atmosphere, depending upon the surrounding, depending upon the diet, depending upon the climate. There are cases in which girls, at the age of 10, they reach puberty.
Although it is true that some girls start their menstrual cycles at the age of 10, but this is by no means an indication for mental maturity. A 9-year-old girl is not mentally mature to handle the stress and the responsibility of motherhood and marriage. According to this Sahih Hadith, when Prophet Muhammad, who was in his 50s, married Aisha, she used to play with dolls. On the other side of the spectrum, many Muslim apologists claim that a 15 or a 16-year-old girl can also play with dolls. So we have two contradictory conclusions from two camps of Muslim scholars. So either she matured fast and married Muhammad at the age of 6 or 9, or her growth was abnormally stunted that she continued playing with dolls at the age of 16 and 19. Both of these conclusions are rather disturbing. Although throughout history, puberty has been a biological benchmark for maturity and a transition point to adulthood, but this notion is now considered to be outdated. Recent developments in neuroscience has shown that brains of teenage girls and boys do not stop growing well into their early 20s. In this paper by Johnson and colleagues from Johns Hopkins School of Medicine and multiple other well-known medical institutions, it says, in the last decade, a growing body of longitudinal neuroimaging research has demonstrated that adolescence is a period of continual brain growth and change, challenging long-standing assumptions that the brain was largely finished maturing by puberty. This is especially true for the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that does executive human functions like considering the future and making predictions, organization of thoughts and problem solving, forming strategies and planning, modulation of emotions, impulse control and delaying gratification, inhibiting inappropriate behavior, etc., etc. And according to this paper, the maturation of the prefrontal cortex in young adults does not occur until the age of 25. Again, you can choose to believe in Islam. That is your choice and I respect that. But know that the claim that your religion is for all places and all times is wrong. Islam has an outdated form of morality. It allows men to marry prepubescent girls who have not yet fully matured mentally or physically. Your prophet married a soft, innocent, and easily impressionable mind. This is a form of injustice. This act sanctifies unequal relationships and has no place in the modern world. So either 6 or 16, whatever is your conclusion, it is far beneath our moral standards of the day.